So to celebrate my little brother's birthday, I took him to experience his first tasting menu. Surprisingly, here in Memphis, this is the first and only tasting menu restaurant. So it's quite an honor to be eating at a place that's going to change the culinary landscape here in Memphis. You guys know I've been eating a lot of fast food recently, so it's nice to change it up and bring you guys along as well. Enough rambling though, here was our 11-course tasting menu at this place called Dory. The Amuse Bouche was Confit carrot pearls with the peach vinegar gel, and toasted sesame seeds and chervil. Easily the prettiest dish of the night. I'm literally trying to buy this bowl now. An Amuse Bouche is the first thing you'll get at a tasting menu restaurant. It's usually 1 to 2 bites to prepare you for the meal, kind of give you an insight into what's about to come. This next dish was an off-menu gift from the kitchen, so thank you guys. A Torchon of Foie Gras on toasted sourdough with nasturtium, what I think is smoked blueberry puree, and everyone's favorite flaky salt. Farm peas/beans next. Avocado puree, Pepita oil, basil, and crispy lentils. I'm a big texture guy, so I love the crispy lentils here. Heirloom beans are really slept on. I guess because beans aren't really exciting to most people, but having a good bean will be like eating your first summer tomato. We opted in for the wine course, which I typically skip when I go out to eat like this, but I wanted to give my brother the full-on experience, and it was the right move here. All the wines were really tasty. This is a huge dehydrated collard green chip with beet powder, and under there was a perfectly cooked scallop with cornbread pudding and chow made from local peppers. One thing the chefs here push heavily is farm to table, which is sourcing ingredients as local as possible. It's actually a lot of work to build relationships with farmers, force yourself to use what's available versus what's trendy, and not to mention really expensive, so I very much appreciate food like this. Quick bathroom break? Sadly, no food here. The 5th course here was one of my favorites. It was a vegetable quenelle with summer squash and veloute. Veloute is just a sauce made from flour and butter and a light stock, so it's basically a fancy gravy that's lighter. I imagine this one was made with an aromatic vegetable stock. Another favorite here, the summer melon sorbet was our palate cleanser. It's used to clean residue off your tongue for the next round. It's also a common intermezzo transitioning into the heavier meat dishes. They were really kind and let me hang out to film in the kitchen a little. Things like what you just saw him do, flattening out the sauce, are the little details that would set Michelin star restaurants apart. Now, Tennessee doesn't have the Michelin guy, but this brings back so many memories. God, this meal makes me miss restaurants so much. This was the first of the heavier courses. It was salmon with fermented onion, a smoked carrot vinaigrette, and glazed okra. And no surprise, salmon was perfectly cooked, as was all the protein here. You obviously don't have to film your meals like I do, but it's really fun to take pictures and look back on fond memories. And it's great to have photos and a copy of the menu if you're a serious cook, because when you're dining out, you're trying to be in the moment and enjoy the experience, right? But if you have it documented, you can go back and study up. The final savory course, hanger steak with fresh masa, salsa Verano, and some fermented corn. Love the Mexican influence here and the utilization of corn. It's one of my favorite ingredients and has awesome texture, whether it's fresh corn, ground up masa, or grits. Moving into dessert land, plum cremeux, smoked blueberry puree, pecan lace, and local honey from a beet farm called Deaton's, which I believe they turned into a powder. So smoked, chocolate, blueberries, and pecan, such a great combo. A little lavender cream birthday cake for my Nichan. This cake was phenomenal. And last dish of the night, chocolate truffle dusted in cacao, sitting on top of 9-oak granola, a signature of one of the owners. So this cost $95 for 6 courses, but as you saw, it's closer to 10 or 11. Wine pairings were an additional $45. This is one of the cheapest tasting menus I've gotten to eat. I didn't even mention service, absolutely incredible. Hyper attentive without being overwhelming, elegant without being posh. When you dine out at a place like this is what you're paying for. You see hospitality elevated in the same manner that the food is treated. Now, tasting menus are expensive, but it's such a valuable experience, especially for serious cooks. Take lots of pictures and snag a copy of the menu so you can dissect it later. There's so much to study from it. You really have to love food and everything about dining out for it to be worth your money. I 100% recommend eating here. It's crazy to think that this is just the beginning of the Memphis dining scene.